Hi, gals. Welcome to the strolls. But today I'm strolling alone. And that got me thinking about spending time alone. And that got me thinking about you. And that's why I'm here. So let's take a stroll, even though I don't have any puppies today. So today, my husband took off for a couple of days. He took the dogs. Oh, but I do have a kitty. Where's the kitty? There she is. Bella's here. Hello, Bella. Anyway, my husband took off camping with his sons for a couple days, his grown sons, and took the dogs. So I have time alone, right? So let's talk about how we spend time alone. I want to tell you a story. I'm going to say this would have been around 2015, I guess probably about 10 years ago. But it could have happened 5 years ago, actually. Anyway, it was similar to this. Dennis, that's my husband, took off. He was going somewhere and he was gone for 4 days. And I immediately went to the liquor store. Any free time, any moments alone, that's what I did. Oh, no one to bug me. I don't have to cook. I can just sit here and drink. I can do whatever I want. It's going to be amazing. Right? Oh, yeah. And I remember I got into the liquor store and I thought, I'm going to try something different. And I bought a bottle of tequila. Yeah, tequila. Oh my God. I literally came to 3 days later. I was in the living room, just, I can barely stand to think about it. Just a mess. I started drinking that bottle and there's the kitty. Hello, Bella. And I don't know what happened. Maybe I went and got another one. The details don't matter. The reason I'm telling this story is if we're still drinking, time alone is not that great of an idea, right? I mean, now, if you live alone, it's probably a different story because you're not always waiting for a moment of alone time. But I promise I'm getting to the point. If you're a snippet lover, if you're in snippet land, if you listen to my podcast, you know that I ask all of my listeners, all of my gals, to create a sacred space in your home and a sacred space in your heart where you can nurture yourself. Self-nurture. Now, this is something that's really hard to do at first. It's really hard to do until we're well along in our sobriety journey, and not just sobriety, but self-care, personal development. We really do need to learn how to be alone and look after ourselves. You know, if I said to you, why don't you take a 3-day retreat by yourself and go away somewhere and really dig in and do some meditation and journaling and be with yourself, would you be able to do it, or would it be uncomfortable? Not necessarily being alone would be uncomfortable, but would you know how to nurture yourself over that long of a period of time? 24 hours, 48 hours, etc. Or would you start getting bored, start scrolling on social media? You know, what would happen, right? It took me a long time to learn how to do this, and I couldn't figure it out alone. So what we want to do is we start building our self-care routine with the help of our accountability group, with the help of a coach or with whoever we're growing with, so that we've learned how to sit quietly. We've created the habit of that daily self-care. We have started to feel that sacred space in our heart that is there for us. And we really have begun to learn how to do self-nurture, self-care, self-growth. And other than that, it just sounded good. Like, I always liked the idea. I'm like, oh yeah, I'm gonna be all spiritual and I'm gonna spend some time alone and it's gonna be great. And I just, even if I wasn't necessarily drinking, I'd turn the TV on. Next thing I know, I'm binging on Netflix. It's something that we need to learn how to do. Spend time alone, spend time in true and authentic self-care, and feel what we want for ourselves. This is why when women join my 8-week program, I send them on a retreat, a mini retreat, and it's 3 hours. So don't panic, but it's a powerful 3 hours. So what happens is when women come into my program, they don't have this habit of a daily self-care routine, or if they do, it's still wobbly a little bit. And I know that when I say to them, I want you to set aside 1 hour a week, just 1 hour a week to look at the content that I'm giving you and sit down and do the assignments that I'm giving you, just 1 hour a week. And then the second hour, because it's 2 hours a week, is spent live in Zoom with me and the other gals. And they say, oh yeah, I can set aside an hour. But I know that often that hour is actually 2 30-minute sessions or 15 minutes here, 20 minutes there. We're busy women. Even retired women are busy women. And so I thought, and I noticed this, that the work was being done, but it was being done sort of off the proverbial side of your desk. And so that's when I thought, I'm going to build a solid 3 hours where you commit to that 3 hours, and it's done at the beginning when you come in. And during those 3 hours, I'm going to help you ritualize the release of alcohol and begin to learn how to be alone with yourself without scrolling, without drinking, without looking at social media, without looking at TV, without whatever. And so I created a 3-hour recording, and it's part me talking. I'm not giving away what it really is because, to be honest, it's a secret. The only people who know what that 3 hours is about are the women who do it, right? But it's powerful. So I had a woman do it yesterday, and she texted me this morning and said, I don't have the direct quote, but it was something like how she felt she had gotten a lot of clarity and peace out of it, and a feeling of really truly starting her journey. I get good feedback on it, let's put it that way. But to sit alone for 3 hours is different from being guided through 3 peaceful, quiet hours. And I intentionally set that retreat up so that you're focused on this new direction of your life. Because when women join me, it's a new direction in life. Not only are they giving up alcohol, they now have a coach, they now have a community, a nice, small, tightly knit community, approximately 20 women, all over 40, many over 50, over 60, all working towards the same goal of happiness and self-care and joy and releasing the past. And so this is how we launch your time with me, is that with 3 hours of quiet. And so my question to you is, how are you in terms of spending time alone? Are you able to sit quietly without picking up your phone? Are you able to be with yourself without starting the voice in the head that starts beating us up and telling us this went wrong and we didn't do that, right? The self-talk, negative self-talk, is one of the things we have to learn how to manage. And we have to exchange it for positive self-talk, productive self-talk. And that's all part of the process. Anyway, this is one of the longer strolls, but I've thoroughly enjoyed it. See what I can do when I don't have dogs and partners running around. Listen to me. There it is, gals. Thanks for joining me on this little stroll. Yeah, I mean, if you're interested, you want to do the retreat, you want to spend 8 weeks, a couple months with me, the link's right here in the description. Otherwise, come back for the next stroll, and I'll see you there. Thanks for being in my world. Bye for now.